Ah, the great outdoors. Welcome to this outside edition of Living Well, making the most of your senior years. I'm Terry Troyer. One of the many great things about living in Harford County is how close we are to incredible parks, amazing trails, and so many opportunities to walk, hike, and run close to home. So let's lace up our hiking boots, grab a bottle of water, and head out for some quality time with Mother Nature.
Harford County is an amazing place to be outdoors. We have so many accessible trails, from the Ma and Pa Trail up to Havre de Grace at the Susquehanna State Park, down to Joppatown at Mariner State Park. Our parks cover the entire county. There's lots of gently rolling hills, as well as playgrounds, and just lots of areas for families and individuals to get outside and get fitness.
My favorite route is Mariner Point Park. It's nice and shady, it's well paved, and it's the best place in Harford County to walk and run.
My favorite trail is the Ma and Pa Trail because it's very close to my house.
One of my favorite places to run is the wild, untamed streets of the town of Bel Air. There's always people out running and somebody you know.
I would recommend a great place to run or walk is the Joe K Trail in Havre de Grace that goes along the river. And if you enjoy that, there's also the Susquehanna Greenway Trail that goes from the dam to the mill, also along the water and in the woods.
My favorite place to run is here at Emily Bayless. It is a wonderful loop course that is shaded and local to the shopping center in case you get thirsty.
My favorite place to run in Harford County is the Forest Hill section of the Ma and Pa Trail. It's an easy section to walk or run. It's not too hilly, and it's nice and wide. The people are friendly, dogs, bikes, whatever.
For a challenging run, I like to go to Susquehanna State Park and run the various trails there.
For nature lovers, the great places to go in Harford County might be the Anita Light Estuary, the Emily Bayless here, the Ma and Pa Trail. Is about 9 miles, all outside, surrounded by trees. Susquehanna State Park, there's endless opportunities. The Gunpowder has lots of trails here in Harford County as well. What I love most about running is the people and the community and staying healthy, not just physically but mentally. Getting out in nature makes me feel free. It also reminds me that there's so much out in the world besides my day-to-day little problems.
My pro tip is to make sure you know your route.
Don't forget to stay well hydrated before and after your run. It's very important.
My pro tip is you should run and walk during your training. Walk to warm up, and it lubricates your knees. On the days that you're not running, it also helps your knees.
My pro tip is to listen to other runners and learn about what they do to stay healthy and active.
It's 80 years old, and it's very important that when I go running, I tell my wife, Carol, where I'm going to park is going to be and when I'll be home.
If you are just getting into running or don't know how to start, just put one foot in front of the other. Walk out of your door and go outside. Try and get to the next mailbox or the next mailbox or the next tree. There's lots of places to run or walk just right outside of your house. The Harford County Running Club is a local nonprofit running club that started in 1966. We have members from babies in joggers who are pushed by their parents up to folks in their 80s, running all paces and abilities and even walking. So at the Harford County Running Club, we offer opportunities to run 5 days a week, either in the trails or on roads or at the track. We sponsor the Bel Air Town Run, which has over 1,000 runners, bringing them to the Harford County area. And we also have scholarship programs, and we find lots of ways to give back to the community. For more information about the Harford County Running Club, visit us at runharford.com. Run!
There are lots of ways to plan for our financial futures and ensure our quality of life. Saving and investing are two of them. A Maryland Able account gives people with disabilities the chance to save and invest funds in a tax-advantaged account without jeopardizing their federal or state means-tested benefits. Find out how Maryland Able can help you prepare for the future.
Welcome back to our outside edition of Living Well. If you're not yet inspired to lace up those hiking boots and get out on one of our Harford County trails, here's more encouragement.
Hi, I'm Judy Glassman. I'm the daughter of Joe Kokendorfer, also known as Joe K., for whom this trail has been named. My dad, Joe K., was instrumental in the development of this trail. He arranged over the years to have all volunteer help to create the trail. AmeriCorps, which is the Domestic Peace Corps, came in at 3 different times, 2001, 2003, and 2005, and helped lay 250 tons of rock sand, rock gravel, up on the railroad side of the trail. That was an immense project, and we are greatly indebted to them for making that happen. My favorite part of the Lower Susquehanna Heritage Greenway is, unsurprisingly, the Joe K. Trail. And there are different aspects of the trail in different seasons. It's always a different walk whenever you come out. I particularly enjoy the area along the river where the pilings from the old towpath of the Susquehanna and Tidewater Canal are visible at lower tide. The Joe K. Trail is an easy walk trail in Havre Grace. It is comprised of a railroad section that has been reclaimed, a section that goes along the river, which is more of a natural trail, complete with stumps and that sort of thing, and then an area which goes across grassy plains, grassy areas. So it's easy walk, wheelchair accessible in the railroad area, and about a mile and a half long, easily walked in about half hour to 45 minutes depending on your pace. One of the things that I enjoy about coming to the trail is getting the opportunity to enjoy nature in an urban area. Now, we're not a metropolitan area, but we are urban, and this provides an oasis for people to relax, have some downtime, just enjoy nature, birds, any other wildlife. There's beautiful foliage, there's some interesting stops along the way. It just is a respite from the hectic times of our lives.
We're here at the edge of North Park Loop Trail, affectionately known as the Joe K. Trail in Havre Grace.
It's the edge of the Susquehanna River where the Susquehanna meets the bay. The Lower Susquehanna Heritage Greenway is a large trail system that is on both sides of the Susquehanna River in Harford County and Cecil County, and it connects the towns of Port Deposit and Perryville with the city of Havre de Grace. The Lower Susquehanna Heritage Greenway encompasses not only a trail system, but it also connects all of the cultural resources within all the municipalities and the counties along the entire master plan, and connects archaeology, the natural world, and communities in a very dynamic way. We're very excited about the master plan that we have here for trail system connections. Havre de Grace ideally will be connecting to Susquehanna State Park, as well as the Oakington Peninsula, which is a project of Harford County Parks and Recreation with a trail system of 1,200 acres. What you can see here are natural areas. We are along the Susquehanna River. There are plant communities that exist here that you can see nowhere else. And we have archaeological features of the Susquehanna Tidewater Canal that show up at certain tides. When I take a walk on this in the early morning, I feel connected to nature. I get to listen to the natural sounds, and I get to experience the uniqueness of the Lower Susquehanna, where it becomes the Chesapeake Bay. When I'm in the mood for a more challenging hike, I love to go to Susquehanna State Park. They have an amazing system there. I don't know how many miles of trails, but some very, very challenging hillsides and beautiful vistas, and a very unique situation. It's important for our health, our sense of community, and our just quality of life in the way we live in Harford County in general. We are very lucky to have these trail networks within the county. My pro tip for walking this trail is to bring along some water so you can stay hydrated and to stay on the trail. We have ticks, we have poison ivy, and we have snakes. So if you stay on the trail, you're more likely to avoid them.
On other days that you're not running, add some strength training to your routine. It helps protect your joints.
I'm not a pro, but my pro tip would be make sure you are hydrated and make sure that you are traveling with companions just for safety.
My pro tip, and it might seem obvious, is to make sure you use the bathroom before you run. You don't want to be out on the trail having to go with no trees around.
Harford County is probably one of the bigger counties left that's 100% volunteer.
We don't get paid to do what we do. We do it because we have a love and passion for giving back to our community.
It is very important that we support them, whether we come out and purchase stuff at their fundraisers, we come out and give donations.
It costs a lot to run a firehouse, even a volunteer house.
It's crucial for us to support our volunteers because they support us when we need them the most.
No matter what your level of fitness is, make sure you check with your doctor before tackling any new or strenuous sport. And before you head out on your run or hike, make sure your body is ready and warmed up for the challenge.
Okay, hello, Dr. Val Collins here again, and we're talking about walking and running. And we are going to start with some of the preparation before we go out. So we'll be talking a little bit about stretching, a little bit about warming up, and maybe even a little bit about gear just to make it fun. As we begin, we always want to get our body ready for the work, ready for the challenge. It helps with the soreness, it helps to prevent injury, and it helps us to have a better overall experience. So let's start with the warm-up. Let's start with our ankles, because guess what? Our feet are at the bottom and they support everything else. So when we look at the ankle joint, we want to be strengthening the ligaments and the tendons and the muscles that are around there. We want to limber them up, bring some warmth to them. We can do this by turning our foot in and out. It doesn't have to be a really huge move at all, but we are moving from side to side. After you do 5 or 10 of those, you might lift your toe and press it down and then lift your heel. So we're not only warming through the foot and the ankle, now we're bringing it into the calf. We do the moving stretches in the beginning because we don't want to stretch cold muscles. So we don't want to do the stretches where you stretch and hold at the beginning of the warm-up. You save those toward the end. So here are a couple more warm-up moves. Moving it up the chain, we come to the hips. You can do hip circles. This brings in the entire area around the bottom of your torso. Also includes the back. So if we do a few to the right and then a few to the left, say 5 or 10, we will warm up in this area. We don't want to forget the biggest and longest muscles in the body, and that includes the glutes, it includes the thighs. Your hip flexors are right in between, so we also want to get them. Your hip flexors help you to lift your legs up. So a couple of warm-up moves would be lift the knees. You can point your toes and include the front of the ankle. You can lift your toes and push through the heel, and we're warming up from the hips all the way down. Let's look at some other moves. If you needed to hold onto a prop, a bench is a good height, the top of a chair is a good height. Something that's in line with your hip or your waistline is good. So I'm going to just rest my hand right on the table here, and I'm going to do some leg swings. 5 to 10 on either side, warming up the front and the back of the leg. And then of course we would repeat that on the other side. Here's another movement that gets the inner and the outer thigh. Reaching out, bringing it in, side to side. Warming up the groin area, including the muscles on the inside of the thigh and the outside of the thigh, and a little bit of the buttocks there. Now here's a little bit more dynamic stretching. I could use that prop and come forward a little bit, and this allows me to be able to lift my heels together and drop them at the same time. I'm warming up the back of my ankles. I'm also warming up the calf area. We're going to go from the lower body to the upper body because our back supports us through all of the movement. So we want to make sure our back is strong, our back is limber, and also when we're walking or running, we're moving from side to side. So we have to look at the stretches in the front of our upper body and the stretches in the back. Go ahead and reach your arms out, bring your thumbs forward and back. You can also do a couple of circles back and a couple of circles forward. I'm stretching across my chest. I'm stretching across my back. I'm going to change direction. And a lot of the work that we do all during the day is reaching forward. So we want to make sure that we're pressing back a bit and that we're stretching across the front of our chest. And we are now ready for that walk, that run, or that hike. Okay, so now that we've gone through some of the warm-up exercises, dynamic stretches, let's look a little bit more at some of our preparation. I have some items here that you might want to bring along with you. We have the sunglasses because we are in warm temperatures and sunny weather. We want to protect our eyes. And depending on what terrain we happen to be walking or jogging, hiking or running, the sun can get into your eyes. So you want to make sure that you have a good pair of sunglasses to shield and protect them. You might want a hat. And that brim in the front of the hat will help to protect your face. Hopefully you're wearing your sunscreen and you're protecting your skin as well, but the hat will help with that, and it will help with some of the glare too and work along with your sunglasses. always wanting to hydrate. You want to hydrate before and after the activity because you already want to have some fluid in your body to start off with. And we know that we can go longer without food than we can without fluid because all of our body processes take place in a fluid environment. And hydration is very, very important, especially in this kind of heat. And you might want to bring some protein snacks with you. It could be peanuts if you don't have an allergy. It might be your favorite meal bar, something that gives you a little boost, especially when you're on those long trips. So here's your preparation. Anything additional that you think you may need for the adventure, make sure that you have it, either in a fanny pack or maybe even in a knapsack, but have it readily available. Let's talk a little bit more about safety in general. It's really great to have a buddy or a group of people to walk, run, or hike with, but sometimes that's just not always possible. And sometimes we just want that moment for ourselves. So we want someone to be accountable for us. Make sure someone knows your path, where you're going, the time that you're going, the expectation maybe of how long it might take. And if you have your cell phones, maybe you'll have a timer that reminds you to do a check-in, or maybe you'll have your safety buddy to do a check-in with you to make sure that everything's okay. Make sure that it's a clear path. There's help around if you need it at some point at the beginning and end of your path. And we also want to make sure that we pay attention to the weather. So sometimes we want to go early in the morning for a walk or jog because the middle of the day is probably not the safest time to go due to the temperatures. Sometimes an evening activity would work best. So pay attention to the weather report, kind of have an idea of what's coming, and make sure that you are safe. And most of all, when everything is set in motion, go ahead and have fun.
Thanks for joining me on this outside edition of Living Well. Feel free to share some of your favorite activities, passions, and pursuits, and how you're making the most of your senior years. Until next time, I'm Terry Troyer.